questions and few answers, Thanksgiving week, dozens of volunteers did their own search in the cold and rain.
And Pastor Lewis began to holler, everybody come to me. Come to me. And I knew the sound in his voice that it was not good. It was not good. I remember asking, is it a body? And someone said yes.
In an area of the ranch supposedly already searched by deputies was the body of Alfred Wright, found nearly 3 weeks after his truck broke down.
When I first found him, I walked up on him. And it says that his spirit spoke out to me and said, Daddy, I knew you were going to find me. He said it was in this area.
Okay.
And his feet was back here. He was neatly laid.
Right.
He was neatly laid.
Wearing only boxer shorts, his shoes, and a single sock with his cell phone tucked inside. It wasn't just the position, but the condition of the body that also seemed strange.
This is the first thing I noticed, how smooth his forearms and his back. This is smooth, no scratches at all.
But he was missing an ear, 2 front teeth, and his throat appeared cut. And in an echo of the sheriff's prediction, the coroner's toxicology report described Alfred Wright's body filled with drugs and ruled his death an overdose. The family had never seen Alfred take drugs. They don't believe the report, and they don't believe that drugs explain the condition of Alfred's body. Knowing that the watch is found here, his clothes are found here, and then the body's found there, what does that lead you to think?
It leads me to believe that there's a crime scene somewhere, and that timing is of the utmost importance. Every single day that goes by, evidence is lost or destroyed.
Based on what you know, what do you think happened to Alfred Wright?
I think he was murdered. I really don't have a doubt. My question now, just like the family, is who did it.
A short time ago, I spoke with Deborah Farrick, who's reporting the story from Jasper, Texas. So, Deborah, you mentioned drugs were found in his system. What kind of drugs?
The coroner found a combination of 3 different drugs, cocaine, meth, and also amphetamines, and concluded that the death was accidental and that it was caused by drug intoxication, Anderson.
In that coroner's report, did it indicate how long the drugs had been in his system?
No, it did not, and that's a very big question that the family wants answered. They want to know whether, in fact, those drugs entered Alfred Wright's system during his disappearance, and that's a big part of the investigation that the family wants answered.
Has the family done their own autopsy?
The family hired an independent pathologist to look into this, and their pathologist reached a very different conclusion than the official autopsy, which found that the death was accidental. In fact, their pathologist said that it appeared Alfred's death was caused by severe trauma to the neck and to the head area, and that included what appeared to be some sort of a cut, a gash across his neck, Anderson.
So, I mean, was it that the gash across his neck, what did the first autopsy find about that differed from what the second autopsy said?
Well, the first autopsy made no mention of any sort of a slash or gash across his neck, but you look at some of the autopsy photos, and it is very clear that there's a very straight line that has been cut. The lawyers looked at the picture, the pathologist looked at the picture. The official autopsy said that whatever damage there was to the body was actually caused by animal activity, but we spoke to a couple of people who live out here. They say if that body had been out in those woods for any length of time, that in fact the buzzards, the crows, and other animals would have completely chewed it away to the bone, and that's not the amount of decomposition or animal activity that was actually on the body when the body was found.
So what has the local law enforcement said about, why they stopped the search, about these discrepancies? Have they made comment? What are they doing about it?
Well, we spoke to the sheriff, and you'll see that in our piece tomorrow. We spoke to the sheriff, and the sheriff essentially said he had handed the investigation over to the Texas Rangers. Now, he did hand the investigation over, but only a month after the body was found. He would not answer our questions as to why he called off the search after just 4 days. He would not even answer our question as to why he felt there was no foul play involved in this. But the Texas Rangers have taken over this case, and they have called in the FBI to assist. The Texas Rangers, they say that this death is questionable, and they're looking at the autopsy